Lightning strike from McCaffrey. Stealing the momentum right back.
Now,
Joe,
back to Steiny and Guru on 95.7 The Game.
Joe Davis, Fox Sports.
Look at you.
There you go. Good call. That was ball game right there.
Night.
Any chance the Steelers had to get back in the game, let alone win, they needed a 3 and out there. Instead,
65 to the
rips
easy.
off ones.
Yep.
Yeah. 49ers, 30-7 win over the Pittsburgh Steelers. It was a game that I don't think anybody thought was going to be that easy. I mean, it's a perfect debut to the 2023 season. Everything went right. You dominated. Brock Purdy was terrific, building on last year. Ayuk, everyone says he's going to have a breakout year.
Jennifer Lee Chan.
Great start. Christian McCaffrey, just 25 touches and 180 yards.
Now, he could be MVP, Steiny. He touches it enough to where I think if he...
Funny.
I mean, like, he gets enough to where we keep an eye on him. He could be in the conversation.
I think this is interesting from the 415. Brock Purdy is going to win the MVP. Book it. It's not the craziest thing. Remember that discussion we had a few years back? What the Niners start that one year? 10-1 with They started 8-0 for sure with Garoppolo.
Yeah. I remember that. Snow Angels in D.C.
They were 8-0, and I think they were like 10-1. Remember, I said
there's whispers of Jimmy.
I said Garoppolo's got to be an MVP candidate. His numbers were fine. He didn't have a lot of interceptions for sure. But if you're the best quarterback on a 15-2 team, I'm not saying the Niners are going to be that yet. But I mean, the more the Niners win, the more that is a possibility for sure. Let's go to Dougie in Berkeley. What's up, Doug? How you doing?
Hey guys, I'm doing good this morning. How can I not be doing good this morning?
Right.
That game, come on. That's awesome. Awesome. I had a thought. I want to get your guys' take on this because I really like what I'm seeing from Brock Purdy. I like what I'm seeing from the whole team. It's just a great story. But part of the story is because he was the last pick. And I was just thinking this morning, take this team, and put Jeff Garcia at quarterback, or put Steve Bono at quarterback. Remember Steve Bono?
Sure.
Who came in when Young got hurt and won 5 in a row, and then Young was crying because they were wondering whether they should put him back in because the team was 500 when Young went out.
All right.
So if you put one of those guys with this 49ers team, because both of those guys, bigger sample size, on them. But both of those guys were pretty good. Garcia was not bad. So I think the biggest part of the story for me with Purdy is that the expert talent evaluators nearly whiffed on him. That's what's nice about the story. Because
no doubt.
Those guys might do pretty well,
Oh, absolutely.
What do you guys think?
No, I mean, the way he's been quarterbacking right now, I remember Garcia on our show.
Right. But the football
and I don't
player,
I don't want to denigrate the kind of player he was.
He was a badass, Donnie.
But is Purdy quarterback to 8 games comparable to Jeff Garcia? Would have to be.
Yeah, but I don't think that would be. I guess you could.
But then why? But
that wouldn't be fair to Jeff.
Okay, but I guess that's what my question. Why? Why? What's okay? So we're talking about Jeff Garcia, really good 49er quarterback, and then here comes Purdy, and I would say, well, Purdy hasn't he quarterbacked 8-9 games at the same level as Jeff Garcia has, and then the answer is yes, but that's not fair to Garcia. Well, then what you're really saying is, everybody needs to see more of Brock Purdy. If it's unfair to Garcia, well, then why is it unfair to Garcia? Because Purdy hasn't done it long enough.
But his bigger point was everybody missed on Purdy except the Niners. Like, why was he the last pick? That's the rat on the table, Steiny, and it's a big rat. And it's the reason why everything in 49erville is so good, because Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch, at this juncture, the day that Trey Lance was traded, and I got to bring him up, this would be the Titanic almost on what went into you thinking this guy could play, and Brock Purdy has just put that on mute, and he's put it so much on mute that, we're talking about the Niners, and what we saw yesterday, and rightfully so, is a player to win this year's Super Bowl. That's what I took from the caller. Yeah. The big point, why did everybody miss, and this kid was the last pick?
I mean,
I don't have the answer.
Well, why did everybody miss on Tom Brady? Like, why did everybody miss on Jokic?
Yeah.
Why did everybody miss on Joe Montana?
Gotcha.
For a few years. So I don't know it just happens sometimes.
But it's great luck. And now it's more than luck, because he has skill, and he looks like he's the perfect quarterback to execute Kyle Shanahan's offense, Donnie.
Dennis in San Francisco. What's up, Dennis? How you doing?
Good. How you doing, guys?
Hey.
Love the way that the Niners came out, the energy from the start. They just weren't beating Pittsburgh. They were beating Pittsburgh up. They were really physical. The only negative that I have is Colton McKivitz at right tackle. If you want to keep Purdy healthy, I mean, there's a couple of times there with T.J. Watt coming in. I was having nightmares of that injury in Philadelphia, and that's where they're coming from, and that's what the opponents want to do. They want to force Purdy left. They don't think he's as good going left, and they're going to come after him. And I just hope, I don't know if McKivitz is going to be able to hold up. Maybe before the trade line we can trade for a tackle.
No, that's a great point.
I mean,
I had a flashback, Steiny, of that hit. When TJ came, he was just free, and he hit Purdy. I was like, oh, my gosh. But to the caller's point, I was right there where I had flashbacks, but he got up.
510, what the caller was saying, yeah, I agree. None of those quarterbacks ever had this many weapons. I think what the caller was saying was, if you put Jeff Garcia at quarterback for this team, he'd be fine.
Well, who wouldn't?
Well, that's what he was saying. He was saying Steve Bono would have been fine. So it's a way of saying that, as good as Brock Purdy is, the caller, not me, the caller thinks that at least those two guys probably could have gotten it done with these kind of weapons.
Well, then not that we don't know what his intent was, but I guess we do now that you broke it down. That's kind of taking something from Brock.
Well,
because he's under 7-0 in regular season games, Donnie.
Chris in Oakland. How many times are we going to hear that this week, ladies and gentlemen?
Until it changes to 8, and then he gets some L's.
Chris in Oakland. What's up, Chris?
Hey, how you guys doing?
Yeah.
Talk to us.
Good. So there was one particular play in the fourth quarter that really showed a lot about just where Brock's at as a quarterback. A lot of the knocks come on his athleticism and things like that. Pocket kind of collapsed on him. He rolled out, ran up to the line of scrimmage, actually did a sidestep to the right to try to let the play develop a little more downfield, jumped right back in between the two defenders and ran for the first down. That play in general just really reminded me a lot of what Patrick Mahomes has been doing, extending plays, then using his athleticism to make the move when it's there instead of just putting his head down and running. I think that there's a lot more to come, and it shows that he even grew during an off season where he was recovering from a huge injury.
That's a great point.
Appreciate it.
Steiny, I told you all off season I thought Brock Purdy was going to be on the PUP list. I mean, is that getting enough run just how fast he's come back? And T.J. Watt hit him more than a few times. He was sacked 3 times. But that gives me confidence when I see him pop back up like, okay, it ain't like you're not getting touched, but man, what a miraculous recovery. And then you're getting hit, and you're just up. Like, man.
I mean, he's very quick. Purdy's very quick. He can take one step in a hurry to just avoid getting hit.
He shook one dude rolling out to the left side. He went, You know what I'm talking about? The jab. Shook him. That's what that was.
Luis is in Oxnard. What's up, Luis? How you doing, man?
Hey, doing great. How about you guys?
Oh, dynamite.
This Bang Bang Niner game?
Yeah, absolutely.
What
Bang
I
Bang Niner gang.
Yes, sir. All I wanted to say was I feel like a lot of people kind of still doubt Purdy, and they still think that he's not like the guy. But from what we've seen, like I'm like convinced, like he's gonna be our future. Like the way he gets the ball out, everything's pinpoint accuracy. He dices up defenses. Like he's just a baller. Like I don't know what else to say. He's just that guy, and I feel like we've seen enough for him to be,
fair,
be called one of the top quarterbacks in the league, to be honest.
Well, you know what? Hey Luis, or Luis, I'm sorry if I didn't get it right, but that's a fair question. I mean, at what point do you say Brock Purdy's played enough football, and now when we rank the quarterbacks, it's, guess what? He's 8. He's not 16. He's 8. Why is he 8? Well, because his numbers are really good, and he wins, and he doesn't have a glaring weakness. Yeah. So what if he's only played 8 or 9 games? I mean, when do you start saying this guy might be one of the better quarterbacks in the NFL? Again, I'm not saying he's not. I'm just naturally, as I would be with any player I've ever seen come out like this, I would be, let's keep watching it. Let's keep watching it and see if it can continue. Yeah. That's all.
And a lot of that water that I put on watching him grow, forget the 7 wins, Donnie. It's the 2 playoff games. Like, to me, that equals 3 regular season games. Like, we've seen him in the playoffs, but when he remains upright, if he can, like, I'm not taking off the Cinderella story, Steiny. I'm just, because they're so rich with talent, the Niners. And now we're starting to be able to say, hey, tell me about Brock Purdy, Steiny. Well, he seems not to have any glaring weaknesses. I agree with that. He's quick enough. Like, I feel like that's tangible enough to where this thing is going to keep going.
It may. Steiny, styles make fights. Let's see how the Niners do versus other good teams, Jaguars, Rams, Cowboys, and Eagles. That's fair. It's not the day.
Well, he knocked off Dallas in the playoffs.
Not the day for that.
Yeah.
Not the day for that.
Well, what have we learned? 1 week in the NFL now, people act like it's a month.
Well, that's what's great about football and terrible at the same time.
Dude, Steiny, if I said they were perfect yesterday, I know they gave up 3 sacks. McKivitz got had by a future Hall of Famer, but the caller talked about it. He's concerned. I get that. But other than that, that was damn near perfect.